So as soon as the film starts, we see Ratna. Ratna gets scared, comes to her room and locks her room. Her face was also swollen and suddenly she started doing weird things. The next morning, Ratna was completely normal. She brought an envelope and put it on the table where her son was sitting, and then told her son to leave. There were divorce papers in the envelope that her son had already seen. These people were going to pick up Ratna's husband, who was a Navy officer. And after a long time, he was coming home on holidays. Here, Ratna did not behave well with her husband's colleagues. And when Ferris, her husband, brings her for the movie, she also behaves strangely, as if she wants to stay away from him. After the movie, these people come home, while Ferris was meeting her neighbor, who told Ferris that your wife has not been home since many nights. Getting angry at this, Ferris starts shouting at Ratna, and again talks about going out of the house. But then Ferris comes close to her with love, and requests her, do not go today, go tomorrow. Ratna stops, but she did not want to stay with Ferris. She was ignoring Ferris, which made her think that Ratna is definitely having an affair with someone else. And this thing destroys Ratna. She does not give any response to Ferris, but she hits her head badly on the table. And by doing this, her son comes and stops her. Now in the morning, when Ferris woke up, there was a ruckus in the kitchen. He talks to his son. Then he finds out that for many months, Ratna does not take care of him at all. He gets rid of himself. He takes a bath himself, and then goes to school. Hearing this, Ferris was sad and angry. And then he realized that whatever Ratna was doing, she had forgotten her son in all this. Now he was thinking that suddenly a knock on the door. Ratna herself was a scriptwriter. She had to produce a show for which she had been busy for a long time. And on Ratna's insistence, her assistant, her son Buddy, wanted to leave the school and she used to bring him from the school. Ferris asks this girl about Ratna's hotel, so this girl says, I don't know much, our director has booked it for her. Anyway, this girl now takes Ratna's son from here and in the meantime, Ferris' neighbor comes to their house. This time he had brought a new news. He says to Ferris, I think there's a demon effect on Ratna. And I can say this to Shorty because I have seen a demon walking behind her. Ferris did not believe in all these things at all. Then Tony replies, look, I have done research. You also keep this book. You also read it. If you start getting the signs written in it at your house, then understand that Ratna is in trouble. Something was written in the book that if she's a demon with any member of the family, then the rest of her family members will see the useless covers of her at home. During these talks, he wants to show that Ratna's village in the back turned into a strange same monster, which these two did not notice. Now Ferris, ignoring all these things, goes to Ratna's director because he felt that Ratna's director was involved in it. He was going to beat her here for no reason, but then he thought of the public. And he asked, tell me where's Ratna? The director did not tell him the address of Ratna, but instead said, do not disturb her, she is doing a very big project. After hearing all these things, Ferris got even more angry. Whatever he did, he was inspired to find out everything. That's why he hired a private spy to keep an eye on the director and his wife at all times. After all this, he comes back home. It was time for his son to return from school. Ratna's sister brought him back from school. And sad Ferris started sharing her grief with him. So when that girl was about to come close to Ferris, when Ferris was not bringing his son, he tells that mom has been behaving very strangely for many days. She goes to the room and talks to Udi, and sometimes her body also turns. During these talks, Ferris' son began to see his bruises on the roof, which scared him and he went into the water. Here we see that even Ratna has come home. Ferris went to Ratna in anger and asked her, tell me how many people are you involved in? This was so wrong that Ratna became very angry. And when Ratna got angry, we were shown that the lights of her house were on very safely, so much so that the fuse of her house went off. And Ratna's face had also become strange at this time. For once, Ferris thought that Ratna had disappeared. But when the light came, he saw Ratna sitting down. She was not only lying on the ground, her condition was also very strange. Her makeup was ruined, but she was moving in a strange way. It seemed as if something unseen was with her at this time. Ferris picks up Ratna and takes her to the room. Her condition had deteriorated a lot. What was happening? Ferris was thinking that suddenly her eyes went into the mirror, where she saw Ratna's cow pillow in the shape of a dead body. Midnight passes, and in the middle of the night, Ratna gets the same attack again, in which she was behaving strangely, and in the middle of the night, Ferris picks up a cow pillow from her and throws it aside, after which Ratna's condition gets better. Meanwhile, we see that Ferris got a call from someone. It was the call of the same spy who told Ferris that the director is not involved in your wife, because he had done all the investigation. After the call, as soon as Ferris came to the room, Ratna came again and she was in a very stressed state. Her hair had come on her face, and she was doing a strange work. Once again, the lights went off, and when the lights were on, Ratna had disappeared from the house. Ferris did not find anything strange this time. He was going to the director, so he called the spy again and went to the director's hotel asking for the hotel's address. When he was in the lift, he met an old lady who told him that she's coming. After saying that, she also disappeared anyway, as soon as he left. He pointed a gun at the director, but then he realized that there was no one in his room. When he came back home, he saw that his son was very scared because he could see blood stains on the roof. He didn't even go to the washroom because Ratna was there, and now he was scared of Ratna. He was scared of his mom 40 years ago. Ferris himself went to the washroom. Ratna was not there, but now how did Ratna come there? He didn't understand. When he went to the washroom, he saw that Ratna's condition was very bad. She had kept her cow pillow on herself and blood was coming out of her legs. Anyone who saw her was scared. Ferris tells his son to leave this room and then he lies down on the bed. After telling this to Ratna, he came to his son. He was satisfied and started talking to him, and while talking, they both slept here, and after sleeping, Ratna woke up in the middle of the night. Now she was looking fine. She got ready, she did bold makeup and took the umbrella and went out. It was raining heavily, but she didn't care about it. She enjoyed the rain, and then she gets a taxi where she used to go to work for the last few days. Seeing the bad weather and the lonely girl, the taxi driver also tries to take advantage of the situation, but Ratna ignores him and gets out of the car, and then we see a shadow in the car. We see a ghost. As soon as Ratna gets out of the car, the entity which we saw sitting in that car brutally kills the driver. Ratna also saw all this, but she didn't care, and she went to her room. Here we see that the spy is also following her. Obviously, it's because of Ferris. As soon as the spy goes to Ratna's room, he follows her. He thought that there must be someone inside Ratna's room. Without asking anything, he opened Ratna's room and went inside. There was no one there. Ratna was also standing as if she didn't care at all. As if she wasn't in her senses at all. She didn't even care to come inside the spy's room, because she knew that this work is being done by Ferris. Spy asks her some questions, and then his whole room, his closet, under the bed, even checks his washroom. At that time, there was no one in Ratna's room. He kept making videos of all these things because he wanted to sell them to Ferris. While the spy was doing everything, Ratna was busy with her work. Here we see that while making videos of Ratna, that man also slowly started coming near Ratna. But Ratna didn't give any response. She didn't even move her hands. Suddenly, this man heard a strange noise from the washroom. He thought that there was someone in the washroom. And he also saw an entity, a demon, in front of him. Afraid of that, he immediately came out of the washroom. But behind, Ratna was standing as if she didn't have a weapon. She stabbed this man repeatedly and killed him right here. And after killing him, she picked up this man's body and kept it in the hotel's closet. After this scene, we are shown Ferris, whose eyes are open. Seeing this, he himself got very scared. He didn't even get any evidence against Ratna. That's why he believed that a demon has definitely affected Ratna. A demon has possessed Ratna. To find a solution to this, he goes to talk to Tony. And Tony also comes to his house to find a clue to the demon. After checking the house, he told Ferris that someone has sent the demon who has come here. Those people could have got Ratna out of this demon with the help of exorcism. For that, Ratna's presence in the house is necessary. While Ratna wasn't there, Harris could see a lot of cassettes there. To pass the time, he played one of these cassettes. He used to call her work bad and take only one work from her. Because of this, Ratna was very disturbed. Ratna refused badly. Then that girl said, "Think about it. I can give you something in return that will always listen to you. But he won't be a human, he will be an entity, a demon." After seeing all these things in the footage, Harris understood that he is definitely not Ratna's assistant. That entity, that demon, is behind Ratna. After understanding everything, he decides that he will help Ratna. That's why he goes to Ratna's hotel. Seeing this, Ratna got very angry. And as soon as Ratna got angry, that demon came in front of this director. Seeing this director got very scared. He didn't understand what to do. Ratna was standing to kill him. And Ratna, at this time, while keeping a knife around his neck, kills him too. While doing all this, he didn't even think that he could go to jail. Maybe she was doing all this because of the possession of this demon. Below we see that Ferris has come to the same car in which Ratna had come. His driver was dead. And seeing this, he got very scared, and immediately started going inside Ratna's room. When he was in the lift, he met the same old lady again whom he had met before. And she just tells him that he has come. And saying this, he leaves from there, goes away from here. Ignoring this, Ferris goes to Ratna's room where Ratna was lying in a weird position with a cow pillow as if the two of them spent time together. Ratna's condition was also very weird at this time, so Ferris came home with her. He was scared of Ratna. He felt that Ratna is not a director, but someone who does injustice to Ratna. That's why Ratna hit him. He shakes Ratna and makes her hair and says to her, "Look, Ratna, nothing happened. Forget what happened. We both will start a new story." Saying this, he can start coming close to Ratna. But Ratna was not feeling comfortable with his closeness. She now suddenly runs away from Ferris and goes to the kitchen. Ferris also runs after her, but till then Ratna had picked up a knife which she points at Ferris and says, "Stay away from me. I don't want to live with you. I am happy with the one who listens to me." That means Ratna was happy with the demon. When Ferris started coming close to him again, she found out that she cannot get rid of the demon so easily. That's why she tries to kill herself. But Ferris also saves her. After this, we see that Ratna was unconscious. Ferris takes her home and quickly brings Tony home so that he can do his exorcism. Tony also lights a lot of candles in the house and ties Ratna's hands and feet to the bed. But after all this, he didn't know what to do and confusion was clearly visible on his face. Suddenly, he makes a conversation with himself and says to Ferris that I have to check Ratna's entire body. "You go out." It was clear from this that he also wanted to take advantage of Ratna. Here it is shown that Buddy had now returned from school. Ratna's assistant had picked him up from school. So this time as soon as she comes home, seeing the strange atmosphere of the house, she immediately tries to run away from here. But Ferris catches her. "You have sent the demon to Ratna. You free Ratna. Whether you take me," it meant that the girl who wanted to get Ferris in any condition, Ferris will now live with her. But Ferris he was saying it with his mouth. He didn't have such feelings in his heart. He wasn't saying it to free Ratna. He was just saying it for his feelings. And that demon hurt his feelings. And then he went inside her body. Possessing her, the demon attacked Ferris. But he didn't kill Ferris because he worked according to Ratna. And Ratna didn't want the demon to kill Ferris. So the demon went out of the house with the girl's body and started doing strange things. And he got angry seeing this. Before he could do anything to Tony, all the furniture in this room was hanging in the air. And the lights here also went off. Taking advantage of this moment, Tony tries to kill Ferris. Because he knew that if he didn't kill Ferris, Ferris would kill him. Now at the same time when he was going to kill Ferris, the demon possessed him. In this condition, Tony himself died by hitting his head against the wall. And here at the railway station, Ratna's assistant also died by hitting her head against the wall. After the scene, we are shown Ferris' house again, where there was blood everywhere on the walls, on the roof, on the floor. And seeing this, Ferris was also scared. He took a gun in his hand and quickly knocked on his son's door. But unable to open the door, he had to go to Ratna's room, where he saw that Ratna was spending time with her cow. Actually, there was a demon inside the cow, and she was getting intimate with the demon. Seeing this, Ferris also fainted. He didn't understand what he had seen. He was so stressed that he fainted. And when he came to his senses, he saw that he was tied to a chair in the theater. Here Ratna tells them all her written script. And then while laughing, she shoots Ferris. And kills him. We can see that his son Buddy saw all this from behind the curtain, but he didn't do anything weird. Maybe he was possessed by a demon too. Now Ratna's companion was the same demon who used to get her out of every trouble. That's why Ratna took such big steps. All the people who were killed by Ratna were the same people who used to harass Ratna. And now after their death, Ratna was free, and by showing her, these stories end.